Hey everybody and welcome to BK's Bullets. Today we're going to be talking about Young Justice Season 3, the new Titans TV show, and DC's streaming service that's going to have all of it on there. Hey everybody and welcome to BK's Bullets. Thank you for joining us or coming back again today. Hope you're going to enjoy today's content. So, on Monday, I believe it was announced that DC is going to produce two new television series, one being returning, one being brand new. And we're going to have Young Justice Season 3 called Young Justice Outsiders. And returning there is executive producer Greg Weisman, who did Gargoyles and the original two seasons of Young Justice. Really, really awesome guy. Also did the Spectacular Spider-Man animated show that's so beloved, which I've never seen, actually. And then also we're getting back all of the old cast members, voice cast and animators and things like that. So it's kind of been a known secret for a while. It wasn't really a secret. It was kind of, known out there that this was happening more recently. But all this got started because Greg Weisman tweeted to some fans who were asking about what happened to Young Justice, what about Season 3, you left off on that dark side cliffhanger. And he just said, well, if you want more Young Justice, watch it on Netflix. It's streaming on Netflix right now, which it still is today. So you can go watch Season 1 and Season 2. And enough fans streamed Netflix for what I read to be thousands of hours, and it's pretty incredible. And now they picked up Young Justice for a third season. Who knows about a fourth? I guess we'll see how the third one performs. But that's pretty incredible. Now, if you haven't seen Young Justice, it's a really good series. So it's kind of like the Justice League, except it's all of the teenage sidekicks. So you have Robin, you have Bumblebee, you have Speedy, you have Kid Flash. Aqualad was introduced in this series. And they kind of get together and fight bad guys and things like that. The first season, it was a little bit uneven, I would say. It's good. It's enjoyable. You can get through it. There are a couple episodes that may be mediocre, maybe one or two that are bad. But most of all, they're pretty good first season. The second season, which was called Young Justice Invasion, took it to a whole nother level. And that's where really the rabid fan base started to coalesce, I think. And that's where it's, kind of developed. And that second season in the Invasion storyline with the Reach and Blue Beetle and everything else that was going on, Vandal Savage, I think, was involved and stuff. All that stuff just made Young Justice the legend that it is until today, and why it was so beloved and why fans wanted it to come back. So definitely, if you haven't seen it, get through season 1. You will enjoy it. It's pretty fun, but Young Justice Season 2 is really where it opens up. I would say it's kind of like the first couple seasons of Justice League, and then you got to Justice League Unlimited, and they just opened everything up, and they had more cast members. Young Justice Season 2, Dick Grayson graduates to Nightwing. You have a new Robin in there, Tim Drake. You have Wonder Girl. You have Superboy's in there still. So you get more of like the Young Justice comic book characters instead of just the old Teen Titans characters and stuff like that. So really and Blue Beetle comes in there, which is one of my personal favorites. So check out Young Justice on Netflix and check out Season 3 when it comes out. The second thing they announced was a new live action show called Titans. Not Teen Titans, but Titans. So that tells us we're going to have an older Dick Grayson, an older Starfire, older Beast Boy, older Raven, and so picture like CW type actors portraying these roles, but them being in college or just past college, young adults, 21, 22, 23, that kind of stuff. And it's going to be produced by Greg Berlanti, Jeff Johns, and the thing that made my ears perk up and go, oh no, Akiva Goldsman. Now, if you haven't heard of Akiva Goldsman, he has some good movies to his name and some bad movies to his name. Some mediocre ones, too. All of the Dan Brown, Robert Langdon, Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons. I don't know if Inferno was written by him, but he works with Ron Howard a lot in the past 10 or so years and stuff like that. And he's turned out some good movies and some bad ones with him. And Akiva Goldsman is really famous for writing A Beautiful Mind and being the screenwriter behind that. Another Ron Howard film, that's the one with Russell Crowe, and being a famous mathematician many, many decades ago, but having, an imaginary friend that he talks to and, hearing voices and things like that. But also the thing that made me go, oh no, is that Akiva Goldsman wrote Batman and Robin. the Joel Schumacher stink bomb of a Batman film, if you haven't seen that one. So he's kind of maligned for that, even though he did redeem himself afterwards with A Beautiful Mind. But Akiva Goldsman's track record has not been consistent, to say the least. So that kind of made me go, oh no. And then, this TV series is going to be produced on this new streaming service. So what kind of budget are we talking about? The Titan series was rumored, I think last year or 2 years ago, to be on TNT. And if you want to look at their budgets, just go watch the Ray Romano show or Leverage and things like that. Those look okay, but it's kind of on par with a USA type show. And while Suits looks great, they don't have any special effects. Now, I haven't watched Colony, I haven't watched all of Mr. Robot, but I would say even Mr. Robot doesn't have a bunch of special effects like these other things do. And especially Titans. I mean, you have Starfire. She has orange skin, she flies, she has the energy blasts. You have Beast Boy or Changeling, whatever they're going to call him, and he changes into animals. He's green all the time, so he's kind of like Beast. He's supposed to be furry, so who knows how we'll do that. I haven't really seen anything on TV where they've put somebody in a character costume that much. Even Martian Manhunter on Supergirl on the CW, he only changes to Martian Manhunter when he really needs to. They limit it very, very much. They save him for special moments. Most of the time, he's in disguise as, Dennis Harewood, as the actor that plays him. So I don't know how they're going to do these other characters. Raven, I think they could pull her stuff off, but then you start getting into, are they going to go into her parentage with Trigon and going to hell and fighting the demons and stuff like that? It raises a lot of questions. And you talk about some other streaming shows like Netflix, they have the Marvel shows are pretty good, but think about the ones that they chose, right? They chose a lot of street level characters so that they could save on budgets. There's not a whole lot of special effects. There are some, but Danny Rand's Iron Fist is not a glowing Kirby dot particle effect or anything like that. It's more like an X-ray, and all they have to do is track his fist and show his bones and make it yellow. There's not a whole lot of energy and stuff like that around. One of my critiques of that show. So it's kind of weird to see where this is going to go. So is it going to be cheap? Is it going to be well done? One of the things about it, which is the Greg Berlanti team, Greg Berlanti, Jeff Johns, and they have some other producers from Arrow, Legend of Tomorrow, Flash, those whole CW show teams, kind of makes me feel a little bit better because those are probably going to be the guys doing the work day to day, writing the episodes day to day. Greg Berlanti has so many shows he's running. Jeff Johns will be in and out most likely. And probably Akiva Goldsman in and out as well. It may be a passion project for him, but I don't see him running that writer's room. You know what I mean? I think he's involved in the Transformers movie universe writer's room right now. So his time may be split. So maybe it'll turn out all right. But I have big questions with Akiva Goldsman, but more so the budget. So let's talk about the budget that's going to come to the Titan show from the streaming service. So let's veer over to the streaming service in particular. I think this is a terrible, terrible idea. DC did not announce anything with this streaming service. They just said a new streaming service, and it's going to have these two shows, right? They didn't say when it's going to launch. They didn't have a name for it. They didn't have a price range. They didn't have what kind of content's going to be on there. Off the top of my head, you could potentially have any DC Comics Warner Brothers related movie. So you could have the Burton Schumacher Batman films, the Dark Knight trilogy, all the Superman films, the new stuff in the DCEU from Man of Steel onwards. You could probably have all the Vertigo films, V for Vendetta, things like that. And all the animated series, Batman, the animated series, Superman, Batman Beyond, Justice League Unlimited, Beware the Batman, Green Lantern, and the Young Justice show, right? So, but that's not a lot of content. And I'm kind of thinking they're probably going to charge, most streaming services are like $10 a month. The new CBS All Access streaming service is $10 a month. And I don't subscribe to that one. And I'm a little upset because that's where they're going to put the new Star Trek show that Brian Fuller is in charge of. I like Brian Fuller. I watched Hannibal. I think he's a visionary. He's a great, person to have on your team or running your show. So I have faith in that new Star Trek show as, a kind of a lukewarm Star Trek fan. I grew up watching Next Generation and DS9 and Voyager with my parents, but I never watched Enterprise. I never really watched all the old original series or those films. I'm a Next Gen guy, I guess, but I'm not a hardcore guy. I'm not watching it all the time. I'm not deep into the lore. I've seen the episodes maybe once, right? It's not something that if I'm going through channels or see on Netflix that I'm immediately going to watch. So I think that's a big risk to have a new streaming service with an unknown amount of content, and even if they put all the DC animated movies like Teen Titans, Judas Contract, and going back to Superman Doomsday from 10 years ago, when they do that, is that going to be as part of the streaming service as well? I don't see it being a good thing. But I'm kind of wondering if they were kind of forced into this corner. I don't know what deals Marvel has, if they have any with Amazon. But thinking about where Marvel's TV shows are, you have the Netflix shows, right? And those, they might extend, they might do some more. It's kind of unknown. They keep doing more seasons. Like we're getting a Luke Cage season 2, a Jessica Jones season 2, and we're getting the Defenders later this fall. So it's unknown if those are going to keep continuing season to season to season, post those Defenders. Maybe if we get Defenders season 2, but that might be it. It's unsure. But Netflix has an overall deal with Disney for a lot of their content, I think from the beginning of 2016 onwards. So is there something written in the Marvel contract that says you can't have any other DC films or related shows like that, or new stuff, right? You can't acquire our competitors' programming, original programming, And then also Marvel has shows like Runaways, and that's coming on Hulu. What's in that contract? Is there another non-compete in that contract? It's kind of an unknown. So I'm kind of wondering if they were kind of boxed into a corner to not put it on these streaming services. But why not choose Amazon? Pick something that people are already watching. You own the CW. You have the CW app. Why not put it on there? It's ad-supported. That's what I use to watch the DC CW shows, not having cable myself. I don't mind the ads. I'll watch them. I'm glad they're available. I used to watch them on Hulu, and I pay for Hulu with Hulu Plus. So maybe they were getting a little bit of revenue there. I'm not sure. And they still have ads on Hulu Plus. I did not go the ad-free version. So a lot of uncertainty. I'm most excited about the Young Justice Season 3 announcement. Hesitant on the Titans announcement. We'll see how that comes along. I'll be more excited for that when they start doing casting announcements, costume reveals, and maybe some concept art. We'll see what comes down the pike. If it does even materialize, this whole thing could fall apart. But at the very least, I think we are getting Young Justice Season 3. If they're ready to announce it, I'm sure that they've started some animation and recording voices and stuff like that. So that's your DC TV news for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please like, comment, or subscribe. Check out the other episodes here at the end. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.